Yo, November 6th, 2021. Halfcast 179. Episode 179. Let's go. Happy Saturday, people. Hope your weekend is going well. Of course, I have a few things to share with you. An evening of reflection. Shall we? A man in upstate New York burst into flames after officers used the taser to subdue him. That was the charged one. That was the one they left on the charger. That wasn't the android that they pulled off when it was at like 80%. No, a man was tased after a confrontation with officers at a police station in Catskill, New York. The 29-year-old burst into flames. I'm thinking like Dracula here. What? A little bit of holy water, a little bit of sunlight there, a little bit of garlic, and is now in grave condition in a burn unit. Police said the man had doused himself in hand sanitizer prior to being tased. What is that going to keep the cuffs off of you? Bring your ass over here. A 29-year-old man in upstate New York burst into flames after being tasered and is now in grave condition, police said Friday. Jason Jones walked into the police station in Catskill, New York last weekend and appearing intoxicated, got into a confrontation with the officer. Talk about throwing stones at the prison. Shit, you were right there. Into a confrontation with officers. The Times Union reported Chief David Darling told the outlet that officers used a taser on Jones in an attempt to subdue him. I think they were afraid he were going to hurt himself, and that's what started it, Darling said. This can't be suicide by cop. This really better not be classified as suicide by cop. There are still details on what we're trying to develop. Prior to being tased, Jones had doused himself with hand sanitizer, according to police, but it's unclear when and whether the officers were aware of it. That's a thing. One source told the Times Union Jones had taken his clothes off and poured hand sanitizer on him. So he walked in ass naked with hand sanitizer on him. Yeah, many hand sanitizers contains high volumes of alcohol, which is flammable in order to kill germs. Alcohol-based sanitizers can be a fire hazard without proper handling. Jones' lawyer, Kevin Lubrand, told WRGB Jones is currently in a burn unit at a hospital in Syracuse. Wow. Darling said there's an investigation being conducted by the Greene County District Attorney's Office. He said that while his officers do not have body cameras, there are video cameras. There are video cameras in the police station. Next up, San Francisco police officer arrested for alleged Rite robbery. Yes, my tour of the retail debauchery has not quite ended. And when it gets so easy, when it gets that easy, I guess even law enforcement can't keep their hand out of the goddamn honeypot. A San Francisco police officer was arrested Wednesday in alleged connection with the robbing of a Rite Aid. Authorities said there's nobody here. You can just take all the Pringles. Yeah, Sergeant Davin Cole has been placed on unpaid leave. That is a fucked up way to put your job in jeopardy, though. As sergeant, you don't have that long left to that's a fucked up way. It's just so easy. There's nobody there. They just open the store and let everybody just on unpaid leave. Pending an internal investigation, officers responded to the convenience store. A source told Fox Station that Cole allegedly demanded painkillers from the pharmacy. There we have it. Authorities did not say what was taken or if anyone was hurt. San Francisco Police Department said he is a 27-year veteran of the force assigned to the Field Operations Bureau. Wow. Is that you back there with the pills, Sarge? Yeah, I got it, guys. teen charged with murdering South Florida police officer. Do you kids get girlfriends anymore? When do you have time to do shit like this? A South Florida teen who fatally shot a police officer in the face last month with a recently stolen gun has been indicted for murder. That's like a whole, just that one sentence for an 18-year-old is like a career criminal for people that's like 40, 50, that's at the end of their road. The plant shut down and I don't have anything. Like, it's all I got. I got 3 kids. I got a wife that hates me and I don't have anything left. So this score needs to be the big one. This is the story of somebody who's lived 3 lifetimes wrapped up in one sentence, just charges. Yeah, court records show that 18-year-old Jason Benegas, who has a long arrest record, was formally charged Thursday in the death of Officer Yandy Chirino. The Associated Press reports the formal charge brought by a Broward County grand jury follows Benegas' arrest on multiple charges, including murder. Now, prosecutors can seek the death penalty. Geez, you're done. They're going to try to smoke you. Suspect Jason, but you had the whole life. Yeah, you could work at Rite Aid for a few years until you figure the killing occurred the night of October 17th after officers in Hollywood, about 20 miles north of Miami, responded to reports of a man attempting to break into cars, according to police. Chirino was the first to see the suspect who he tried to arrest. The arrest warrant says that the teen then resisted and pulled out the weapon. Benegas, who later claimed to authorities that he grabbed the gun in an attempt to kill himself and avoid returning to jail. Suicide by cop. This is the running gag this night tonight. Returning to jail, pulled the trigger, hitting Chirino in the face, according to officials, which that's sketchy. Another officer sustained scrapes in the ensuing moments as they arrested Venegas. Chirino was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital after fellow officers' attempts to save him. If you like the show, subscribe and comment. Let me know you're rocking with your boy. New York firefighters rescue naked man stuck in theater's wall for several days. What are you in the walls playing ghosts? Ooh, I see what you did with that tub of popcorn. Leave your wallet at the counter. First off, how did you get naked? That's what's really like. If you're stuck, stuck means you don't have room to move, right? So how do you have room did you go inside the wall naked? Firefighters rescued a man trapped inside the wall of a historic theater in Syracuse early on Friday. Authorities said just after 7:30 a.m., the Syracuse fire department responded to to a report of a person trapped inside a wall at the landmark theater Performing Arts Center downtown that opened in February 1928. The person, described as a 39-year-old male, is believed to have entered the building on Tuesday or Wednesday. Damn, so you've been there since, the department said in a news release. Members of the department's rescue company drilled a hole in the wall. Watch where you're drilling, buddy, and used a fiber optic camera to determine his exact location. Firefighters were then able to free the man after carefully cutting several layers of drywall and structural clay tile. How did you get in there? That would be driving me crazy. The theater's executive director, Mike Intagletta, told Syracuse.com that employees had seen the man wandering around the theater earlier in the week. But if you got on a trench coat with nothing on under it, was it one of them theaters? Was it really? But thought he left the building. Whoa. I don't know if he was entering to keep warm or to use the bathroom. I don't know. And Tagliata said, trying to cover his ass. Syracuse fired the deputy chief, John Kane, said that the man crawled into a space in the building. Why? Where he stayed for 2 days. He then fell into a space in the wall of the men's bathroom where he became trapped. Whoa. He was naked when firefighters found him, Kane said. A mom's reaction to her daughter's elementary teacher regularly telling kids to shut up is causing a debate. Okay, first off, and I say this all the time, if you can't, as a teacher, your job is to teach. Okay, that's the easy one. That's the easy one. But to be a good teacher, your job is to keep the kids engaged long enough for you to cram whatever crap you're trying to it's your job. Your job is to keep them engaged so they can is to keep them interested long enough so you can actually give them the information that they need for you in order to do your job. It's different ways you could tell them to be quiet. My teacher in 8th grade, what Miss Cotton used to say, or Miss Uzzle used to say, if you can hear my voice, clap once. It's something fun. It brings focus back to the room. If you can hear my voice, you can hear my voice. Yeah, come on, let's focus. Let's get engaged. The mother of five, Bella Leon, posted a TikTok November 3rd discussing her frustration about how her daughter's elementary school homeroom teacher says, shut up to students, especially if they're children, because kids are going to talk, especially if you're boring the shit out of them. They're going to talk, they're going to break off, they're going to talk about they're going to play, they're going to get fits, they're going to get antsy. You just like, yeah. The mother went on to show a message she had received from the teacher, in which the educator said she also says level 0, zip your lip, stick a sock in it, which kids, if they're a certain age, they have absolutely no idea what you're talking about when you say that. Shut up is probably the only thing they do understand. And if shut up is the only phrase that this teacher can use that they understand, that like, yeah, that's somewhat that they can get across. As a teacher, you're supposed to create ways to keep your kids engaged. Yeah, Leon explains she had to take a step back before replying out of anger with backhand that bitch. Due to the nature of the message. However, she didn't respond to the homeroom teacher. As a mother of five, I understand how overwhelming it can be to have everyone chatting at once and being rowdy. You find a way to reel them in. Now, I mean, this is the things that they can't. These are the things that separate you from other teachers. You find a way to reel them in. However, I also know there are much more creative and appropriate ways to ask children to lower their volumes. Using the term shut up is disrespectful, and children deserve to be respected, especially when we're asking them to respect us in return. That, and you're letting these kids know that it's okay to tell people to shut up, then they're going to go out in the real world and they're going to apply that, and they're going to find out that it's not okay with a lot of people. Using the term shut up is disrespectful, and children deserve to be respected. Our children spend more time in school than at home. Same thing at work with grown-ups, right? And I believe the influence they receive from educators should be positive and encouraging. Fair enough. This conversation has caused a debate in the comments on whether or not teachers should be allowed to speak like this. Here we go, the comments. Because everybody's an expert on the internet. One user commented, forward to school department and suggest she take a de-escalation course for her professional development. It's not need, you don't need all that. Just stop saying it. Just find a better way. See, everything doesn't need to be, everything comes down from corporate, and you watch the videos and you got to do the kits and all that shit like that. All you got to do is just you and the principal or whatever, you pull each other in the office, you have a meeting, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, you find a better way to get the kids' attention. You find a better way to reel the kids in. Don't say it anymore, and that should be the last of that. Now, I mean, a handshake should be the agreement. Like, it's not always everything got to be corporate. You got to go to, yeah, come on. Andy Coates, I hope you never lose your cool with the kids. Teachers deal with 20 plus kids for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Excuse them for thin patience sometimes. No, as a teacher, you find a better way to keep your kids in a control environment. Yeah, to control the environment of the kids. How else are they going to learn if you don't keep them still long enough? Yeah, you got to keep them still and keep them interested long enough for these kids to learn. Yeah, yeah. All children need appropriate structures, expectations, limits, and consequences, but they need them delivered with respect. Awesome. Next up, Pennsylvania College busted for anti-racist preference and job description. Yes. Pennsylvania State University is hiring a new assistant professor of architecture, but is asking applicants to show their commitment to anti-racism and anti-oppression. Why haven't we led with this in the beginning? The description for the job states that the position is focused on architectural materials, construction methods, and processes. Leave the bullshit at home. I love it. While the position is for applicants with a background in architecture, the posting states that the ideal candidate will work to establish a culture of anti racism and anti oppression somewhere where you can raise architects. It's not about black, white, who's gay, straight, who's Spanish, who's whatever, who nobody, who's pork, whatever. It's about architects. That's it. You want to be an architect? Okay, come on, be an architect. Yeah, the College of Arts and Architecture is working to establish a culture of anti-racism and anti-oppression that embraces individual identities, fosters a culture of inclusion, and promotes equity through curricula, values, standards, ideals, policies, and practices. The description states the ideal candidate will provide evidence of their experience with and interest in contributing to these goals. Now, if you're a person of any color or a person that is not of color, and this offends you, this automatically weeds out people who will be a potential problem, a potential not I wouldn't say a problem, just wouldn't be a good fit for what they're trying to build there. And I love it. I love it. Applicants are instructed to explain in their cover letter how equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging relate to your academic. Yeah, because if you're against that, if you're openly against that, then like there's something wrong with you. If you're just openly like that, if that's the reason why you don't think you're gonna take the job is because of anti-racism and anti-oppression. That's the deal breaker right there. Like, no, then that weeds out a portion of the people in the first place. That weeds out the people that you don't want in your facility in the first place. Aaron Terr, a program officer at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education, told Fox News that this can serve as a political litmus test. It's a spokesperson for the Pennsylvania State University told Fox News that the job description speaks for itself. Yes, it does. Fostering a diverse and inclusive community is one of Penn State's core values, and this position reflects this commitment. I love it. Fun show, fun show, fun show. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you can catch this ride with me next time. That being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.